1. Action.
Hello, once again, this is the Buddhist monk teacher here at Tantrika Lama Jigme Gyatso, here to ask you the musical question, why don't affirmations work? There's a very good reason for that. It's a technical reason. It's because they are, how shall we say, big fat lies. Imagine, if you will, a nervous fellow, late to work, sitting behind the wheel of his car, stuck in traffic. He's grabbing his wheel with white-knuckle intensity, and he's saying to himself the worthless affirmation, I am serene and peaceful. Oh yeah, that's working real good, Skippy. Listen, affirmations don't work because we're using our will and our words to tell our viscera and our brain something that's patently not true. You know, if you're feeling fear and you tell yourself, I feel peace, it's a big fat lie. And your inner Bart Simpson will say, eat my shorts, man. So how do we do that then? What do we do? What are some of the things we can do when life gives us things we don't like? Well, first of all, tell ourselves the truth. You know, right now I'm in a circumstance not of my choosing. Okay, so ask yourself an empowering question. Something like, how could I use this circumstance in an empowering way? You see, it has been said that sometimes the question is the answer. We have an inner mechanism that rejoices in answering questions, regardless if the answers are correct or incorrect, or logical or just fantastic. It just likes answering questions. Think back to junior high. Think back to 6th grade. Remember the first crush? Remember your first taste of unrequited love? Ugh, I do. What an antidote to self-esteem that was. I remember lamenting, why doesn't Terry love me? Well, that's a terrible question, because if you ask that question, your brain is going to be, hey, let me answer that for you. Well, here are the 47 reasons why she doesn't love you. Number 1, you're smelly. Number 2, you're funny looking. Number 3, you dress horribly. You know, and that may or may not be true. But it doesn't care what's right or wrong. It's just going to answer questions like one of those, on a tennis court, one of those tennis ball launching machines gone amok. It's just going to kick out the tennis balls of answers. You know, and if it runs out of logical sounding answers, it'll give you irrational answers. Why doesn't Terry like you? Green. Argyle. Huh? Arugula. What? So there's a part of us that wants to answer questions. So the trick is harnessing that inner mechanism and make it work for us. And so we do that through the power of asking assumptive questions. So let's say, for instance, we are stuck in traffic, we're late, we're feeling stress. And obviously, we don't want to feel stress. We want to feel, I don't know, what my teachers would call the virtuous opponent of stress. I would call it the happy opposite of stress. And that would be, let's say, peace. I mean, if you're stuck in traffic, you got to feel something. How's peace sound? I think peace sounds pretty groovy. So what if you ask the question, what are some of the reasons I could feel peace right now? I tell you, that is much more productive than asking, what am I going to do when I get to work and get fired, and then I come home and tell my wife that I'm fired, and she leaves me, and then I'm homeless and I die in the street like a dog. That's a very bad question. A good question is, how could, what are some of the things that I could feel peaceful about right now? That's a useful question. And so the next question is, how can you take that question and make it even more powerful? Perhaps next time I'll tell you. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. Om Mani Padme Hum.